I just I kind of feel like I flew too close to the sun. So
all right, there, Icarus.
Those wings are available in the middle of Greyhawk Castle or CrimsonHawk Castle.
Oh wow, you can become a winged folk.
Oh yeah, no problem at all.
I see. So James, go ahead. Who had a question?
I had a question. So what's, because obviously you're taking what was Greyhawk and you're turning it into something even better, CrimsonHawk. So what would be the equivalent of the the hold of Stonefist? I was reading the Barbarian manual, and that was one of the ones listed.
Oh, that's like a big region of Gary's lands up north.
So are you
CrimsonHawk could be totally different. We'll have to go and look at it.
Well, it's definitely the outdoors is definitely going to be different because you're not making me do it just like Gary's.
Yeah. I mean, you could just do a Bizarro version instead of like human barbarians. It could be like orc barbarians.
No, I think somebody already did that in some ruins that I'm aware of.
Okay. It could be gnome barbarians.
There we go, gnome barbarians. Yeah, it's like Kinder in Dragonlance.
Yeah. No.
Those were the kleptos, right?
Yep, they're kleptos. They're grand creatures.
So, how do you feel about your work on the module so far, James?
Oh, I'm loving every second of it. I'm really glad you had me do it. I work on it every day now. I got to make 28 levels is my goal for the castle and the 2 towers. And I've started working on the outdoor because I know you guys want to go in the mountains, and I know you guys want to try to find the troll cave, which is going to eat several of you when you find it.
And no, go ahead.
Yes, I do.
And you will be highly disappointed if it doesn't happen.
Yeah. By the way, all your horses, of course, were eaten when you got back up out of the tower. Yeah.
No, you didn't say that, Jim.
I know, but we never went back to town.
Yeah, but when we do things in the game, like you were like with those guys today, and you say, "Oh, you didn't say it at the time," and you made Rothman climb up and down that wall. So I'm gonna have to say the trolls were busy eating someone else's horse. Maybe they're gonna eat the horses of those guys you're cheating on us with.
Maybe.
Oh, I know. Nick, you could give them like some poisonous feed before we go, and then when the trolls come eat our horses, we poison them.
You don't.
Yeah, well, it turns out trolls are immune to poison.
They are.
They are.
Yeah, they are.
I would say I would ask Jim. 28 levels of Greyhawk Castle, which would be so the 28 levels count as the castle. Both towers.
No, I didn't say that correctly. So there's a total of 28 levels in the upper works, the elf tower, the dwarf tower, and the castle proper, and then there's 10 really super tough levels that you get to from the castle that they're just like filled with death and destruction like you wouldn't believe. I told you the story about the fire giant.
Before we keep going, I'm getting reports from people that say D&D After Dark is not up and it canceled the streaming. So Walt, can you check that? Because they're saying we're not there anymore.
Oh no.
On Twitch, and when I go to it, I just loaded the page up. It says it was canceled.
I blame myself.
Somebody doesn't like us.
Maybe it doesn't like my reference to Caligula. It's too.
Yeah, or maybe it doesn't want Gary's secret stuff to be announced on the net.
Or it's afraid of the big Crisco image that comes to mind with Caligula. That can be frightening.
Yeah. I noticed when I was watching the stream earlier today that Twitch is already running advertising on it.
No.
Is it really?
They're already monetizing it. So that's pretty cool.
How do they do that?
Crisco.
Well, they just decide that they're going to show a commercial before you can watch the stream. I noticed when I watched.
Okay, and they're doing that on their own.
They're doing that on their own. It's their platform.
Okay.
But technically, they're supposed to monetize it. I mean, they're supposed to give you money on it, I think.
Mm-hmm. F5, the magic spell of great tremendous power.
Yes. F5 should be your resurrection.
Yeah, there we go. I love
So
that.
so can Lance hit F5 and not be a werewolf anymore?
You know, it would be nice, but you've got some work to do, buddy, unfortunately for you. Because first of all, you're going to find yourself in the middle of 60 hungry, horny wolves when you wake up with the full moon.
No, I did not.
All right, so let's connect the dots because I missed a couple of things on the whole. All right, so last week we left off with JR running off to be a
wolf,
dancing with wolves. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
And so this week we started off with half the team in hell. So
Yes.
what did I miss? Because I was very distracted most of the week in between. So what did I miss?
So evil Prometheus got a job from the Thieves Guild. Please go down and get a hammer and get some bracers from a paladin in the graveyard. And he had no problem with that. So he went down there, easily found the great big secret that I was hoping he wouldn't find at all. And he got the hammer right away. And he ran from the trouble when the great big paladin undead creature came out of his grave and started pounding. And so he ran away. And so this week, they had the same problem. They had to go get the bracers because he doesn't complete that quest until he gets the bracers. So they went down there and they got attacked by a giant piece of undead, which is going to come around many times in their next gaming lives. And so there was a sign on the door that told them exactly what was going to happen. Robbers, if you rob me, my God has approved you guys going to hell. All you have to do to get out of hell is swear on your souls to return my hammer. And so they didn't, of course. They opened the door, a great big godly light, bathed them all, sent them to hell. And then good old Wordna had the great idea. Well, I know what this hammer looks like by looking at the mind of Prometheus, which really gave him a migraine, but I didn't want to tell him that. And so he tried to use his crystal ball to get the hammer where it's being stored. And then somebody used a branding iron and could put a great big R on his hand, which stands for Robular. And now whenever he's in town and the R accidentally gets shown, people are going to shun him like crazy.
But I wore long leather gauntlets, so I'm good.
Yeah, okay, you're good until you have to take off the gauntlets.
It wasn't getting the hammer. It
was
getting something else.
No, it was getting the hammer that you gave to the Thieves Guild. The Thieves Guild gave that hammer to Robular to satisfy one of his quests. And
I missed why you were doing that. Why would you do that?
The Thieves Guild wanted the hammer and the bracers. They planned on keeping the bracers, but Robular wanted the hammer. He'd heard about it through his sages and bards. Right. And,
I just missed the part where Verdna was trying to grab the hammer.
Oh yeah, he wanted it, and that was a smart thing to try. He wanted to use this very special crystal ball that nobody else has, and he reached through to get the hammer, and he got a branding iron instead.
Which is fine. The good news is because that's happened, now I know where that is, so I can see that place and start scrying it.
Yeah, now you know where it is.
So Felix the Swift is here, and of course, reveling in your presence, James.
Hey, Felix, you can use Google all you want tonight.
He wanted to know what are the gods that the clerics follow?
Oh, I'm very loose about that. We've got a lot of Egyptian gods going in there. They haven't really gone to other temples. Right now, we got the Cavalier doing Anubis, and we got Drawn doing doing Horus. So all the Egyptian gods are represented, and we got all the Viking gods represented. And then there's a couple other very strange ones in town, but they haven't searched out the temple row at all yet to find out what's there.
Hey, I'm a worshiper of Marduk. Is he represented?
No.
Okay.
What about Prometheus?
Prometheus doesn't worship temples. He's made that a point.
No, he's Prometheus' temple represented.
No, I thought Prometheus decided to be just chaotic and not worship anything.
No, he means
he
it
worships
should-
himself.
Yeah, he worships himself. Is there a Prometheus temple?
I
Yeah.
see. Yeah, that's kind of funny because in Gary's game, that happens actually. You get up to 15th level and you become a demigod, and then you get up to 25th level and you become a god.
I
That's
didn't think it was
crazy.
possible to get to 25.
So, well, nothing really is impossible.
Did
We're all-
anyone make it to 25?
Yeah, somebody did, but I don't like talking about it.
Why don't you like talking about it?
It wasn't me. It was kind of irritating how it happened.
Who was it?
Oh, it was a flunky. Oh my God, this is such a horrible story. Okay, Rob
why
you
we're
wouldn't
here.
know.
Rob Kuntz's brother Terry Kuntz had a brilliant idea. We were always hiring upper level hirelings to work for us. So you could easily get first and second level hirelings, but we wanted fifth and sixth level hirelings. And so what he did was he formed a society in town of higher level characters, and he would pay them to join the other players' groups and tell him what adventures they had and where they went. And then he would go and cherry pick the really good places.
Sounds like something I do.
Yikes.
Oh man, it was brilliant and terrible all at the same time. I had to fire 3 of my favorite flunkies because of what they were reporting back. And so naturally, he got promoted to deityhood because he had the brilliant idea that was giving him tons of experience points every week.
Oh, wow.
So
a person-
Prometheus, it sounds like something your character would do.
I was gonna say that's the first example of role-playing industrial espionage.
Oh man, it was terrible. Those guys had lots of great ideas. I'm looking forward to using them on all of you.
So Walt, what are you drawing tonight?
I'm thinking about a two-headed troll.
Oh, there we go. That'll be great.
Aren't those Etons essentially?
There's
No,
a-
those are not Ettins. There is a 2-headed troll.
So there's the supposedly the spawn of an Etten and a troll.
Yeah,
Okay.
and they regenerate, but the Ettins don't regenerate.
Bad attitude all around.
Yes, exactly. But boy, a marvelous set of attacks. 4 attacks for those 2-headed trolls, and they're all nasty. So I'm looking forward to the time where you find those 4.
I'm working on them.
I got that encounter all written up and ready to go.
So speaking of some of those tough levels, what would you expect? Like, the ones that you mentioned, like a fire giant and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What would you imagine the party level makeup to be to even consider being in that area?
Well, you need first of all, there's this great big door, and I'm proud, and I've said this before, that for 6 months the rest of the group tried to figure out how to open the door. They couldn't do it. They threw they threw knock spells. They used magic. Couldn't figure out how to do it. Only took me 3 gaming months to figure out exactly how to open it up. And when we opened it up, we found a level filled with every type of giant. It wasn't a pleasant time.
So
The
earlier,
treasures were magnificent, but the giants were so fierce. It was really bad. And there wasn't just 1 or 2. There was always 5 or 6 or 7. There was like 110 frost giants. That was a bad battle.
So earlier, I got an email because you said that because Felix has been such an active part of the community, he could submit a monster.
Yes, the monster for next game.
So I got the monster in my email, and I'm going to send it to you. And I was
Oh
like,
yeah, please do. I'm looking forward to it.
I looked at it, and I'm like, this looks very forgiving. I said, you're a lot nicer than I would have been, because he said you could have thrown anything.
Prismatic
at us,
dragon.
right? And he's like, oh, well, why not just include a dozen of them? I'm like, there we go.
So we have a question from Mr. Maximo, one of our subscribers. And
Yeah.
he wants to know how long everybody has been playing Dungeons and Dragons.
Ooh.
Oh, wow.
So we'll start with you, Andrew.
I started in June of '76. Gary had, after he met my father and I, invited us down to, or I guess up from where we lived, to his house in Geneva, and we got to go to the Dungeon Hobby Shop and check out the area. And so this is year 45.
Nice.
What about you, James? How long?
I started in June of '74.
So not that long.
Yeah, not that long.
And Michael?
Me, probably right around 82, I guess. Just with the kids in the neighborhood.
Okay. And Walt, you're a youngin, so how long for you?
Yeah, I'm a youngin. 84. So yeah, been doing this a while. Took a little break because girls, and then when I got into the army, somebody saw me drawing and they hired me to draw their D&D character, and I'm like,
Oh, nice.
wait a minute, you guys play D&D? And they're like, oh yeah, blah 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 blah. And one thing led to another, and you just when you thought you were out, they suck you back in.
Yeah, you do. Yeah.
What about you, Nick?
Yeah. How long for you, Nick?
Let's see. Like I think 80 or 81. What was what was not the red box? What was the version where you have the fighter and the wizard on the front and the dragon?
That's the blue box.
The blue box.
The
Yeah,
blue
I think
box.
that's the box.
So I think is that 80, 81?
Yeah,
No.
around there.
Yeah. So I got that for Christmas, but there was no
Was there-
one to play.
Okay, was there the same color dice in the box, or was each die a different color? Hong Kong dice.
Different color.
Okay, then yeah, we're talking 82 probably.
Yeah, and there was no one to play with. No one played D&D. My cousin played. We all have that cousin, and so I played one session for like 2 hours. I shot a shrieker with a magic missile. That was all I did. Then I was hooked. So then I got the box and I was back home, and no one played. Then one day this game store opened up and I walked in there and there were all these like college age kids playing, and I was probably only in about 7th grade, maybe even 6th grade.
Oh.
And so they said, yeah, you can play. And about 3 minutes later I got killed by a minotaur. And that was it. That was the beginning. So, but I only played probably until 87, and then joined the army, and then was in the army, and then was an actor. And basically when you're an actor, you're actually just playing D&D all the time.
Yep,
You just call it going out for auditions.
Yeah.
And then just kind of like recently in my writing career, I realized that there was kind of a reoccurring theme in a lot of science fiction writers, that we had this experience. And fantasy is a big genre to write books in. You can make a lot of money in fantasy.
Yeah.
So it's kind of fun. In fact, I hadn't even read a lot of fantasy for a long time, but then I kind of got back into that. So ever since.
Mine is almost identical to Nick, because I played for a couple of years, because I had a couple of my fellow nerd friends that I knew I could call up and they'd be all in, and I was DMing because whatever.
Because you have a giant brain.
Yeah, well, I couldn't. I was the only one with all the boxes and everything else. So yeah, it's like
Sure.
And and then I haven't played a game since started here again.
Oh wow.
For like decades. So it's
Well,
been a long
Levi,
time.
I'm Levi. You're a very good player, so you should be pleased. You picked it up really good.
Yeah.
So we've
And your
got
son, your sons play, right, Rothman?
I introduced it to them, and we played a little bit, and then they wandered away from it, and but we still have this giant box of the first edition. But when I looked, I was disappointed. I couldn't find my deities and demigods. I had a later edition, actually. Let me turn off.
I
this
can't
stupid-
see that.
Hold on, let me turn off.
He's got to kill the background. Zoom
Yeah.
makes that.
I got that, which must have been a new purchase. Deities
Oh,
and
that
Demigods.
sure. Yeah, that was the 3rd edition, I think. Deities and Demigods.
But I used to have the original, and I remember being able reading Cthulhu and everything else, and I don't know where that is. It's probably at my mom's place, give or take.
Hopefully, your mom won't sell it for $600.
It may have sold it decades ago. I don't know.
So I think the Gen Con they released that deities is the year you signed it for me, Jim. So I
Oh,
think-
good. Well, yeah. Anytime you guys need anything signed, you can just mail your stuff to me. I'll happily mail it back signed. I do that for my good friends all the time.
So I got into it because my son. So I do remember I
We
didn't know
didn't
about.
ask JR.
Jeez. Felix, my one left. The only one the NCO Academy let me keep, and you crushed it.
Yeah, there we go.
You knew that JR sat there for a few minutes going like, is anyone going to ask me? I asked everybody.
I was just going to volunteer. I wasn't going to ask.
So actually, I want to know what year, because this should be interesting. You know,
I wasn't even born till 81, but the first
God.
I didn't know about D&D, but I did have the computer game when it was like a castle builder. That the game itself never worked, but the castle builder part, so you could design your own castle, did. The D&D computer game, and then I got into it because my son, when he was at a residential group home, he had they played a homebrew game of something, and he said, let's get into this. So that's sort of how I came to it. But I did play games like Elder Scroll and like RPGs on computers.
Oh, nice.
That's kind of like saying you stayed in a Hotel 6 once.
Yeah,
I mean,
really.
it's still good. You get to be a Nord and kill dragons. Skyrim's all right.
Have fun.
Yeah. My son goes a little murder hobo, though. Like, he'll just kill the whole village. What'd they do? I don't know.
There's nothing wrong with that, Prometheus would tell you.
Well, then he complains because he can't complete the quest because the person that was supposed to give it to him, he cut her head off.
Yeah, that's Prometheus' style, killing that poor evil cleric. Poor guy.
Which evil cleric?
We were doing some Forgotten Ruins playtests.
Oh, no, that was a Legion sergeant. I forget his name.
Anyway,
Prometheus.
they were given a evil cleric to actually help them out until almost the end of the game, and he killed them the first night at camp.
I know that was your big surprise, but we read his mind, and his mind was evil.
Yeah. He wasn't a nice guy, but he could have been a lot of help to you. Could have sprung some traps and found some stuff, but no, you had to kill him.
So James, as a like, if the party were to see Drawmead, in a town getting drunk, and they were to kind of lay out their experiences, and he was nice enough to advise them, what would he tell them to kind of be doing right now?
He'd be telling them to go down to the bottom of the central castle and find the big level where all the real money is.
How much is real money?
Oh, we're talking $500,000 sometimes.
It's kind of hard to carry out.
In the central castle.
Not if you have portable holes and backpacks of holding.
That's true.
But so, sort of in the hierarchy of organizing things, like I think Andrew was talking the other night about infrastructure. Like, we as kind of a party don't have infrastructure, and like occasionally, like there's some systemic things we should be doing. Like, we should be handling our horse problem. We should kind of have some kind of lodgings where we can start storing our stuff. Yeah, you guys are going to be making your own castles, which is really a fun thing to do. Clearing the land and making the castles, probably the most of my D&D memories was doing that. Drawmead has a castle on the river, and it's a beautiful piece of work. And he had to fight dragons and giants to clear the land there. But that's what you guys are going to be doing too. You guys are going to be making your own castles. And it's a blast to figure out what you want for towers and walls and things. It's just very, very enjoyable.
So Lord Dalius in the chat has said, you don't sound bitter at all, James, when you were talking about the demigod status.
Oh, well, I was kind of, I'm an aggressive, competitive person. So when somebody has I don't care that Ernie and Luke got tons of stuff from Dad. They were his sons. So I can understand that. But when Terry Kuntz gets something, I'm just extremely jealous.
Yeah, that shook out wrong. Did you, are some of the original Greyhawk artifacts being, so I know, one of the things Gary said that I remember before I turned to stone in the middle of that big giant pool of water, and I liked that you used the missability table on us today. That was fun for the whole thing. I remember that he said that the organ was on the lowest level. The mystical organ was on the lowest level.
Yeah. There's a bunch of artifact stuff. I haven't put a lot in. Oop, what's happening here?
Yeah, I hear an echo now.
Okay, I haven't put a lot of artifact stuff in there yet, but there is a sphere, scepter, and a crown for each of the character types. And
the items of might?
Yes, items of might, exactly right. I spend a good deal of my gaming time looking for them. and a really evil guy got the magic user's crown, and I was always thinking about ways to kill him.
An evil player or an evil NPC?
He was an evil NPC.
Ah, I see. Okay.
Yeah.
And was this Roblar part of that original campaign?
Yes. Roblar was one of the original players of the game, and he became Gary's second DM when Gary tossed him a puzzle he couldn't solve, and Rob Kuntz accused Gary of cheating. So Gary opened up his book and said, "You will never play this game again, but you can look at it and then you can be a DM for me." And so that's what happened. He saw Gary wasn't cheating. He was just very clever. And, I have to tell you, it's 1974. Gary's designing D&D for the first time. His designs are brilliant. I've read hundreds of different designs, and nobody even comes close to him. Nobody even comes close.
And what do you attribute that to?
He was just really an intelligent, imaginative fellow. He was very well read. He went to the library every week and got 2 or 3 books and read all the genres. He just read everything. And he was just very clever. And boy, I'll tell you, you haven't even seen the good stuff yet. Some of the stuff was just amazing to me. We would adventure down there and our mouths would just drop open. We would be so stunned.
See, that's the thing that's amazing, and a lot of people I don't think can appreciate. Younger generation. I'm going to speak like an old man now, but it's amazing how much research goes into a lot of the stuff. I mean, even just the deities and demigods and stuff like that, where people can look all this stuff up today, but to even write the deities and demigods. You had to have spent half your life in the library looking things up and trying
all one summer. Yeah, one summer. I had to go to 5 different libraries and order books like crazy, and it took me forever to do because I wanted to be historically accurate with the deities, which I got a bunch of hate mail from India. They did not like their gods being used as a game creature. But that's just life. But anyway, yeah, it was fun to write, and I still get letters all the time from people who said, I read your Cthulhu and started reading Lovecraft, and it was wonderful. And man, I'll tell you, Lovecraft. I read all the Lovecraft novels in 1 month. And for the next 6 months, I was looking over my shoulder, fearing the shadows, because it's such a horrifying set of work. It's just terrifying stuff.
For me, it was the corners.
Yeah.
It was the corners. And does that incorporate into CrimsonHawk, Greyhawk?
Not yet, but you're going to see some of that stuff. There's a couple nameless ones that you guys won't even see till you're down in the lower levels that are very
tentacles.
Yeah,
That'll be all bad.
Exactly, yeah.
We have a question from Mr. Maximo who wants to know if there are any D&D branded video games you guys enjoy. And he said he enjoys Eye of the Beholder and Dungeon Hack.
Well, okay, all the gold box sets were just wonderful. I got to play test every single one of those, and that was from SSI, and they were just grand things. They every single one of them hit a sales record for the year it was released. So they were just wild stuff that really copied the AD&D style.
Cool.
Yeah, we've definitely gone a long way when it comes to entertainment and games, because I remember, anyone remember Infocom games?
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Sure. So we got to go from there, which is pure text, in its first iterations and stuff, to what JR, you'd mentioned the game recently that you started playing on the I'm trying to remember the name now. That
Elder Scrolls.
Elder Scrolls, that's the one. I mean, I played that. I truly, so the only kind of video games I play, I mean, I'm stuffy, old and whatever, but so the few games that I do play are all RPG related things. I mean, I'm not into shoot 'em up necessarily.
Well, Fallout is sort of RPG meets shoot 'em up.
Yeah. Fallout was the closest thing, that I think, my kids and my kids are more into the whole PvP and and shoot 'em up type things, and for me it's always been RPG, and Elder Scrolls was definitely my I was like, oh yeah, I play a lot more of those, but I'm thankful there are not that many of them because
Yeah,
they
all my
are a
time.
time suck. Like you'll
Yeah.
realize, holy shit, it's 4 a.m. and I've got to
Yeah.
get up in it.
Yeah, and they're kind of
Exactly.
expensive to make too because the graphics have to be such high quality now.
Yeah.
I prefer sandbox games, and I also prefer shooters. I think like when you get to do role playing like this or interacting between each other, or one of my old day jobs actually being an actor, like when you do sort of like computer RPGs, you really see how on the rails are, and like how there really isn't much choice. Like it's going to be what it's going to be, whether you like it or not.
Sure.
And it's like, it's more, like we've had some interactions role playing with you where there was definitely some information to give, and then maybe we screwed up and pissed somebody off, or maybe we got an advantage. And that's, I think the cool thing about role playing, especially like in this format, is it's really operating without a net. Whenever I look at sort of like computer RPGs, it's like, oh, this is totally safe. Like, in fact, when they were designing this game, they made it so you can't break it, because the worst thing that can happen to them is like, for you to make a dialogue choice or to perform an action, like Jared was saying, where that quest can't be completed and the customer no longer enjoys the experience.
Yeah, very true.
So human role playing, I even though, and Rothman can jump in because he's a computer wizard, literally. And I don't think even with an AI, computer generated role playing will ever match what human on human interaction can do.
No, I agree. And I mean, to me, the thing that impressed me about Elder Scrolls was, it gave you a lot more flexibility than a traditional or historically a lot of computer games did give you. You could screw yourself up such that you couldn't do a lot of things. If you start attacking the guards in the towns, all the guards are going to hate you, and you're not going to be able to do anything. You're going to end up having to start over. There are choices and there are reactions to those choices. So, but no, I agree. And to some extent, we're kind of at an edge, I think, on the computer side with these gaming things. Funny thing is, I'm writing this into one of my novels. Do you guys know what the uncanny valley is? So the premise behind an uncanny valley is people, when you're looking at something on a computer and it's, we see cartoons. All right. So, we went from Infocom that didn't have anything to, kind of block Lego type things, which are like, okay, that's cute, whatever. And it's starting to get more and more entertaining. And you're seeing Elder Scrolls, which has actually some very impressive stuff. But at some point in time, we're hitting an edge where it's like, wait a minute, is that a person or is that generated? And at some point in time, you end up getting kind of, the studies show that at some point in time, you kind of get freaked out because, it's like entertaining. And then like when you can't quite tell, is that an actor or is that animated? And we may have seen a couple of examples of that in some of like the Star Wars remakes where, they brought back some of the old actors and stuff from the dead.
Mhm.
You're like, wait a minute, is that, no, that's not, no, is it? And evidently the psychologists come back and say the human reaction to things that make you a little like, is that real? Is that not real? Is an unpleasant one. So, so you get a diminishing return at some point. It either needs to be real, or it needs to be a little bit more fake than questionable.
I like that Rothman throws in a yo every 2 sentences. Yo. Like, what?
Yeah.
Why are you saying yo? Must be watching.
Why not?
Yeah, why not? So, the question we have going forward, James, is when will people be able to buy this module?
Oh, it's going to be we could sell it in parts. I mean, we could sell the first part, January if we wanted to. You'll have to decide what you want to do. It's easy to split it up, and because I'm doing it just like I design other modules. Okay, so I'm writing very nice descriptions, and I'm writing the creatures and the treasures, and I'm very careful with the maps. So we can start doing it anytime.
Okay, all right. How do we get out of hell?
You guys Okay,
Repent for your sins.
Again, I've told you the two ways. There's one way where you walk right out, and it's easy to do, and you'll be so happy, and you'll never find that. You will never find that. And then the other way is to swear on your souls that you're going to return the hammer to the paladin. Seems kind of simple to me.
Yeah, but Robilar's got the hammer.
Yeah, he does.
And he's a bad guy.
He's a bad guy, yeah.
I don't think I'm that bad a guy.
Yeah. He will work with you though. He might not. It all depends on how he's feeling that day. I have to roll and see how angry he is, because he's always angry. Life is hard for a great big evil lord.
Couldn't we just wipe him out and take his black tower and make it our castle?
You know, that wouldn't be any problem at all when you're about 15th level and you have a huge army behind you.
You know, if I go back to cheating my rolls and I don't perform as badly as I did today, I might actually reach that.
There we go. There we go. The way you guys are going, you're leveling up really fast, so that's good. That's what I wanted. That's what I like. But yeah, you have to be really high. I mean, that guy's a 20th level lord, and he's got 2 dragons, and that's the least of his minions.
That's scary.
So you need to fight some demons. You need to fight some devils. You need to fight some really big, bad dragons and survive all those fights before you can even think about fighting Robilar. Or you need to be diplomatic and try that route. And Robilar might say, hey, give me 6 wishes and I'll turn the hammer over to you.
And again, this is just like my first quest with the guild. Like, where's like go steal a rat hat?
Yeah.
That's in Elder Scrolls.
The first quest is always to go kill giant rats and those types of
Yeah,
games.
go kill giant rats. Walt's like, hey, how about Jim's like, hey, how about messing with the worst possible people and going to hell on your first quest?
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah,
that's what we did in Gary's game. So we died a bunch. Oh well, but after a while we didn't die hardly at all, because there's lots of ways to resurrect and get back alive. They're just tonnage of those. He did that on purpose. But
if you TPK, you can't do that.
If you're well, no, there's a way. I framed a wish so that when I died, I was back alive in my room.
Well, what were those words exactly?
I'm not telling you that. It was 3 pages long, as Andrew knows.
I have some of those.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll be talking about that just to get them used to how to crank out real wishes.
It's very hard to word wishes so that you don't suffer from them. You know, the simpler the better. You got some great advice from Andrew about maybe just not wishing that you don't go down the Paladin's vault and a bunch of bad things don't happen to you, but you lose some experience points and hit points, of course. But keeping it simple, changing the time stream, that's a great way. We used to do that all the time. Because Gary, Gary was playtesting all of his items. So there was like daggers with wishes on them. There were lots of things with wishes on them because he wanted to see what would happen. And after about 5 or 6 times of really getting screwed hard by a wish, you realize what you got to do to not get really bad.
Just as an exercise, let each of us say one wish. Give each of us a wish right now, and tell us how you would screw us on it.
Okay, go ahead and start, Nick.
No, let JR go first.
Okay.
All right. I wish we never entered hell.
Okay, that'd be fine. So you wish you never entered hell. So the way I would screw with that is I would put you in front of the door to the Paladin's place, and you'd open the door, and then you'd enter hell again.
Why would we open the door and enter hell again?
Because you don't have the experience of entering hell. You don't know what's going to happen. You were planning on going down there and opening the door, and that's what you did.
I see.
Without part of the contingency he's talking about is the philosopher's a priori knowledge. So you've got to make sure that you're building a non sequitur. You have to do a non-circular argument, and that
okay. So, Andrew, give us your wish.
No, I'll go last.
Just throw it out there. Go now, man.
I'm happy to wait.
He wants to wait. Go ahead,
All
Nick.
right.
Your turn.
Let's see. I'm going to wish for a. I'm gonna wish for a 1 million gold piece diamond to be set right at my feet.
Yeah, okay. So what happens is the wish works. You're looking at a 1 million gold piece diamond right at your feet, and 3 red dragons fire breathe on you and kill you dead.
Why do they do that?
You didn't wish that you wanted it where you were, so I put where it was.
Oh, I love that. That's great.
So there is definitely a market for an attorney that specializes in wishes.
Oh, there we go. There certainly is. Yes. We had a sage that gave us tons of advice. We gave him tons of money, but he gave us tons of advice about wish. And it was Gary giving us advice. But, yeah.
All right, Rothman, give us your wish.
Well, all right. So I would go ahead. All right. So let me augment what Nick said. So, let's play with the whole, million gold diamond. But I want, when it appears to not have any deleterious effects to me or anyone I know, as well as and I can imagine, stringing in a whole bunch of other things. But all right, let's play with that. No deleterious effects to me or mine, all right, let's stick with that. A blanket statement, no deleterious effects to me or mine, and it appears, and I get to keep it, and I get to, gain the experience associated with the million gold piece find, and there are no penalties of any kind whatsoever associated with my having gained that.
Okay, great. So what happens is you get this beautiful, gigantic diamond that appears at your feet. And then Odin appears and says, "Why did you steal my gem?"
Whoops.
I didn't. I just wished for it.
And you'd say, "Hey, I just wished for it." He says, "Okay, fine. I'll take it back. Thank you very much." And Odin takes it and disappears.
All right. So I missed the clause that says it can be taken back.
That's right.
So hypothetically, I could have added a clause that says, "and I must retain possession of it." But doesn't that violate? Violate?
No, he didn't hurt you at all.
No, but doesn't it violate my ability to gain the experience associated with having?
Okay, and in that case, Isis would appear and say, "Why did you steal my gem?" And you'd say, "Well, I wished for it." And Isis says, "Fine, you've become my minion." And she takes over you and takes you
But that's
back.
a deleterious effect.
No. It's only deleterious if you get hurt, in my mind. Isn't it the same in your mind?
No.
Okay, I guess we just aren't agreeing there. Too bad for you.
Because
all right, Walt, give us your wish.
We're always put into the position of having to struggle through what subjective level of intent is involved.
Yeah, exactly. Thank you very much. So, Walt, what do you got, buddy?
See, for me, I'd have to go and go a little bit Deadpool on this. So I would say that for my wish, I wish that James and I change roles for the day. So James becomes the player, I become the GM.
Oh.
I'd have to think about that a long time. I don't think it could happen.
It's a wish.
Well, no, a wish.
I understand a wish changes. I understand that, but I can't see how that would work.
Well, the DM would now become a player character, and the player character would become a DM.
Yeah, okay, but see, so he doesn't have my world. He doesn't have my campaign.
That's true.
I don't know how he could run it.
Well, you would have to make a character in his world.
Yeah, okay.
So I've been asked that wish before, and the answer is very simple. We say, "Who are you asking?"
What do you mean, who are you asking, Andrew?
There is no such thing. The DM doesn't exist as a thing.
That's very good, Andrew. That's a good answer to that.
Yeah.
The DM does not exist.
Because, the wish is asking for something with a knowledge factor behind it.
And if you ask to be a god, I want to be Odin for a day. That wouldn't work because he's a deity and he's stronger than any wish. So
Right.
I guess, Andrew, I guess it's your turn, buddy.
So if I were to use a wish, I would probably say something like and give my true name in this time at this place, locational space specific, request the access to the ability to have lawful blood transferred into my lineage. I wish for this to occur now and to be considered permanent on me. And that's all I'd ask for.
And you'd want what? Lawful blood?
Yes, so that I could walk the pattern.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So I would basically be influencing the probability on my outcome so that I had a much
I guess my answer would be you don't know anything about the path, so you can't wish about the path.
Oh, no, and I agree with that. Right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be asking about the path. I would just be asking for an influencer, which would be changing my blood type.
I see.
Well, what you asked for was that lawful blood be introduced into your lineage.
Yeah.
Correct.
But that doesn't mean
you're going to get it.
No,
you're
it
the
doesn't.
direct
All it does is
heir.
lawful blood influences the percentage number when you walk.
Yeah, it does.
So that's all I would care about.
See, he's
I
planning on walking the pattern, and that's what he's been working by. All that red web stuff that you guys have been finding, that's how you survive the walking of the pattern. The pattern, of course, is from the Amber books. It's a direct steal.
And so what is the pattern?
The pattern is the pattern is life. Actually, it's a horrible maze that you walk and you take damage as you walk it. But if you have enough of those red webbed non-magical things, you can survive the damage until you get to the center. And when you get to the center, all things happen for you.
It's basically called the Emblem of Order, and it allows creatures to gain a temporary capacity, psionic capacity. So you gain a whole host of proficiencies that you can either self-experiment on or get trained by another patternist to allow you access to the equivalent of psionic-like ability.
Yeah, and I'm actually giving them a whole new dimension all their own.
Yeah, and that makes sense.
What if you just used your wish for psionics?
Well, you can, but man, psionics are hard to do.
They are hard.
They are hard to do. You get weird saving throws. You get attacked by brain moles. Getting attacked by a brain mole isn't fun. Let me assure you.
Like Devourer.
You can't even see them. They just attach to your brain and start doing damage to you. You don't even know they're there.
Well, but so why couldn't you just wish for the abilities that you would receive at the center of the pattern?
Yeah, because first of all, you guys don't know about the pattern yet.
Right.
Say we do. Obviously, if you're
two
walking,
items that tell us about them right now.
Yeah, exactly. But it's multiple. The wish gets you one thing. If you're very clever, it can get you 2 or 3 things, but you have to be really clever. But usually you only get one thing, and in that pattern, you're going to get lots of things if you finally walk it and survive. It's going to be hard to survive, though. Hardly anybody ever survives.
The key of a wish is to make sure that the things you're not asking for. So the power of manipulating a wish is, for example, if you were thinking about the 1,000,000 GP diamond, I would add massive weight and say, sure, there's your diamond. Try lifting it up.
Yeah, really.
It's not liftable. The other thing is, without citing the time and space, yes, the thing you asked for, Michael, you'll see that much later in your career. So I would stuff it way in your future because you didn't have a time-centric point.
Yeah, exactly.
If you ask for a weapon, I always have that weapon in something's hand to come attack you. If you say, oh, nobody owns it, that's fine. Then the weapon is sentient and it attacks you on its own. I mean, there's all sorts of horrible things you can do. The greedier you are, the harder it is to maintain control over a wish that usually quickly goes.
So the best wish is to wish for something nice for your enemies, so that way they get screwed.
Well, they get saves, big saves. So.
Right, and yeah, using a wish like that is usually an expensive letter. You're writing a letter, sending your intent to something that will now come and kill you, or it gains the ability to manipulate that wish.
I wrote an article on Facebook about wishes. I took a ton of heat from people that says you shouldn't have wishes in your game.
Yeah.
So Lord Dallas says, so what about a simple wish like I wish for good fortune?
Yeah, okay, and that's my interpretation as a referee. So a little cute milkmaid brings you a pail of milk. Yeah. I don't think that's what you wanted, but that's good fortune.
Or a enemy walks by and he chooses not to kill you, but he could have. So that was good fortune.
Intent changes on usually one event.
Yeah, exactly.
Wishes allow you to take back a mistake. It allows you to sometimes restore something, and it can give you. They are usually generously supported when you're asking for information on a thing. Hey, we'd like to know, is there a way to find this? Hey,
yeah. I asked for a map to the best treasure in Greyhawk. That was fun.
Yeah, I want to Robilar. What is? Give me the location for the best way, the safest, most advantageous way for me in this time, in this place, to defeat him with the least repercussions to us. So you can emphasize the wish in tears. You can write it out clearly enough, but it's not. The people who do wishes on the fly die.
Yes. I was surprised too that you guys haven't gone to the second elf level because you have the whole map to the level.
Yeah, now that we do, that is a powerful impetus.
See, the problem with wishes,
Devious vows to use the wish purely for greed.
Well, you can, but then bad things happen to you.
See, the problem with wishes, though, it's so easy. I mean, it's almost impossible to use it because you essentially lay your cards out on the table, and then the DM just goes, okay, well, you didn't cover this.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That is exactly right. So let that be a lesson to you, young man.
Well, it's almost useless at that point.
No, not at all, man. We use wishes all the time successfully in Gary's game, all the time.
Give us an example.
Okay.
Right. Well, yeah.
The example I have was
when
I used paraphrase it with lots of flowery words, but when I die, I come back alive in the inn where I'm living, and I'm not dead. And
okay, so but at that point in time, you're diseased and you're frail and you can't move and you're immobilized. And
I'm with you there. But I had those instances all covered. That's what 2 or 3 pages.
That's what pages of work does.
Yeah, exactly. Right. That's what pages of text are for.
I guess the assertion would be the challenge I would find is I would love to see an example of one that you think is foolproof, so that we can go look at it, because I guarantee you it's not.
Yeah, okay. That's what I want to do is type up. Those days there was typewriters. You didn't have computers. Yeah. So 4 pages of typewritten single-spaced sentences. I don't want to do that. Thank you very much.
No, I know. But I guess that's my point. Is it's gonna be one of those things.
I'm telling you, it can be done. I mean,
I know.
We had 1-sentence wishes, back in the day that covered us just fine.
Yeah.
So you type up your 4 pages and you hand them to Gary, and Gary sits there and reads them at the table. How long does it take him to screw you?
Well, lots of times he couldn't screw us because he couldn't think of a way to do it.
We didn't
just hand it to Gary. Oh, no. We handed it around to 8 different people, and they all proofed it to make it as foolproof as possible. But and Ernie and Luke were really good at finding loopholes.
Oh, that looks good.
But it eventually had to be presented.
Yeah.
And would he say, like, well, I need time to digest this?
No. He was really good. He was a really good spur of the moment referee. So he just read through them and said, this happens to you or this happens to you. Generally, we were all set and it worked. But it took us, each like 10, 11 wishes for us to figure things out. And Gary did nasty things too. We used to be able to wish a full point on our stats. I got my stats up to 19s and 20s from wishes, and then Gary decided, oh no, you only get 1/10 of a stat for a wish. Oh my God, we stopped doing the wish stats.
So if we used a wish now, we would only get 1/10.
You'd only get 1/10 because we're playing Gary's game. But I have lots of things. I have lots of things down in the dungeon that raise your stats.
But what if you said, I want the dex equivalent of, and you named like a high dex monster?
You mean then I'd turn you into the monster, of course.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. Or give you some of its personality, so you gain the ability, but also gain its predilections.
Yeah, I'd make it the worst monster. I'd make it a hag or something. If you're a male, I'd make it something female and ugly, so you were very unhappy.
These are so many things I could have said.
The key is to head your wish in a direction that moves the game forward by spirit, and make sure that you adhere to the letter of what you're trying to do for intent.
Yeah, eventually you'll do time wishes all the time. Eventually, when you start getting more wishes,
and that becomes sort of the bread and butter of that.
Yeah, a whole like in Kong Island, we all died, except for Ernie, and Ernie had a wish ring, so he wished us all alive. So that worked out well. So that's, it's just, we never went to Kong Island. There was 3 doors. I think I've told you this story before. 3 doors. One door went to Kong Island. One door went to Alice in the Looking Glass. And the other door went to Metamorphosis Alpha. And Ernie's wish was that we never open the door to Kong Island.
That's simple.
Yeah, that's simple.
Yeah. Well, then how, like, if he said I wish we never opened that door.
Mm-hmm.
So how could we have said that with the hell one?
With the what?
With the hell one.
Going to hell.
Oh, I think probably the wish would be you didn't find the tomb in the first place.
Oh, okay. I see.
Something like that.
Yeah.
I might give you some other ugly thing to find. You were told to look for the Paladin's tomb. So I'd make you find another tomb that's just as bad. But that paladin is watched over by the god, so he's a special, powerful dude. The paladins are rough anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
He was doing a terrible thing to me in the game last week.
So, have you ever added anything to an RPG that you've designed that you regret doing later?
Excellent question there, JR. Yes, I have to say I did. When I was the president of Fast Forward, we did a bunch of Dungeon Crawl products, and this is terrible. I gave 20,000 gold pieces to a corridor guard, and I bet I received 50 letters saying how stupid I was. The corridor guards never guard 50,000 gold pieces.
Okay.
But I am the Monty Hall judge. I love giving out big treasures.
And then taking it all back.
Yeah, exactly. I love giving out I got this whole list of gems here by my computer, and I love picking out a couple neat looking ones and giving them out as treasures. It's very enjoyable to me. I like seeing the look on my players' faces when they get wondrous things.
There's that old Army cadence. They give you $100 and take back 99. That's sort of museum style.
There we go. Exactly right. So and that's another thing you guys haven't got low enough yet. Wait till you come to the portal, that you walk through the portal and it strips you of all your magic.
Yeah.
That's not a lot of fun.
No.
As in magic items, or
as in everything magical you have on your bodies.
There's all sorts of variants of that. The Tomb of Horrors ones. It strips your magic. It strips your body. They're horrible. They're horrible.
Yeah, so if Wordnut went through, he would die then, because he'd lose the dragon.
He's not a magic item. That he actually classifies as a different thing. But if he actually not anymore, I'm strong enough now that if he died, I wouldn't actually blow up in a flame of ash.
But he'd miss him for a long time.
There is that. But I have 8 hit points at my level. So yeah.
Oh, there we go. That's good. You don't really use him much. You're nice and cautious with him. Mm-hmm. I had a familiar much like him, and it died kind of quickly, so I stopped doing familiars.
Right. They are such a high risk.
They are. They really are.
To make sure that you're leveraging it in a way that becomes a good extension of yourself.
And I had a dog and I had an eagle, and they all died instantly in the dungeon.
Yeah, exactly.
I bought a dog and paid to train it because I thought it'd be a cool little mascot for the party. 5 seconds into the adventure, and it's dead. It got eaten.
The black pudding ate it. Well, what? Are you surprised?
Not looking back, but at the time I was like, who kills puppies?
Yeah, who kills puppies? Yeah, I killed
Oh
puppies.
my God, that's so going on a shirt.
who
James
puppies?
Ward, who kills puppies?
Yeah, really. How's Felix doing, by the way? Has he got any interesting tidbits for us?
He's having some problems with the stream, so I don't know if he's still.
Oh, the poor devil.
Yeah, it's. I think it's on my side. I think something wonky might be going. I mean, everything on my side says it's good, but the streaming software says we dropped a bunch of frames. So, but it hasn't happened in the last few minutes. So hopefully we'll be good.
I mean,
So-
I see your hands moving and stuff. So
Yeah,
Yeah.
really.
Yeah, we got
So
we got our friend, the two-headed troll.
Yeah, he looks really good. Yeah,
He's
I
got
like that.
he's got
Prometheus?
Lance. No, that's Scipio. That's got to be Scipio or Scorpion.
He's got a head to munch on.
Yeah, well, he already took off the lips because everybody knows that that's the best part.
Yeah, and the eyeballs, of course. Cool, that's a great picture.
So
You're a very talented artist.
I got very bored on deployment.
Oh, I see.
So normally one of the sections that we've done that people seem to like is where we do a sort of a critique of our own performance, and mostly that involves Nick telling me I don't know how to D&D. So did you want to take a crack at that and critique anything about the performance today?
That's not how you D&D, JR.
Yeah, I know. I think you guys did a really good job today. I was pretty impressed. You solved the spider problem right away. I thought that was gonna. I almost had you, but you guys solved it really well. So you're missing lots of stuff though. You're really walking past tons of treasure.
It's because we don't want to get eaten.
I guess.
Problem.
Yeah, but you don't search enough, really. I don't think, and you look for too many secret doors. See, I got another little story that's kind of fun. So,
Okay.
A third level of the dungeon, and we're down there, and we go to a long corridor. I bet it's 200 yards long, and we're really kind of excited because we figure if this is a 200-yard long corridor, something really neat is at the end. And so there's this great big door at the end. And we started working on it, and we couldn't unlock it. And we tried strength. We tried 3 different guys trying to open it, and then we'd get a wandering monster. And so we'd fight the monster, and it was pretty good size, but we were able to defeat it easily. And so we worked on that door. I bet we worked on the door almost 3 hours. Never opened it, and I bet we fought 20 wandering monsters because that was the trick of the door. The door never opened. It wasn't made to open. It was made to attract wandering monsters. So, we started calling it the corridor of the dead.
Nice.
So when you say we don't search enough,
Yeah, you don't search enough.
well, what does that mean? Like, how do you search?
Okay, so
Like,
I'm going to tell you about this, and then you can't get it. So in the Greyhawk Castle, in the very first room you guys went into,
CrimsonHawk.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that. CrimsonHawk Castle, the very first room you entered that had that great big bear.
Okay.
Remember him? Remember the bear? Okay, so you fought the bear. There was a bunch of trash in the room, and you guys walked past the trash. And the trash was 20 gold plates worth 100 gold a plate. But you said you heard trash, so you didn't search it. You didn't look for anything.
I thought
Yeah.
it was fish.
No, you just
We didn't.
walked past it.
We searched the closest to the door. We didn't go into the room to search.
Yes,
we
you
pulled
didn't go
back.
into the room. And then, down in the mummy's tomb, we have a whole room filled with furniture. You didn't look at one stick of furniture. Rubies and emeralds all over, but they were too little for the sword to say anything about it. So he didn't say a word.
That
So-
dumb sword.
So Felix says that he expects a full dressing down. You're being too nice to us, and that he'd love to see a level like the Winchester Castle. I'm not sure.
I'm
What
not
that
sure what
means
that is either.
Unless he means the actual British castle.
There's I think you might be talking about the horror movie that's based on the Winchester Mansion. Is that what it is, Felix?
Ah.
While we wait for him to answer, we can go back to.
The
Yeah,
Winchester House.
I
in
have
California.
I have a great horror module that you guys will be experiencing when you start searching out the mountains. And my son Thean, who doesn't play D&D at all, had this brilliant idea about a horror module. So I've turned it into something really what I hope is horrific, and I'm going to scare the pants right off you guys as we play.
We need
All
Walt
right.
to get theme mood music in the background when you do
There we
that
go.
for like jump scares.
Yeah, I love it.
So we need to figure out a day to get ourselves out of hell.
Yes,
To-
I don't.
To be ready
when do you
for
guys wanna
next
do that?
Friday.
Yeah.
Well,
Just tell me when. I got the calendar right in front of me.
The smart play is to do it in the beginning of the week so that we have more time as necessary.
So the 5th to the 6th?
Hang on.
Oh yeah, he meant the Winchester Mansion, not Castle. So the place Nick was talking about is
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that has rooms to nowhere.
Yeah.
Stairways
Yeah,
to
sure.
nowhere.
Now, at Halloween time, somewhere around there, we're all going to play the Mansion of the Mad Professor Ludlow, which is my Halloween horror adventure that was in Dragon Magazine. And you're all going to be Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts trying to get your merit badges. So it's going to be lots of fun. You guys are going to really enjoy it, I think.
okay.
So here we are. Will you just tell me when and when?
Walt, what works best for you, buddy?
Yeah, because you have to get up.
It's true. Usually any time after 3 p.m. is pretty good. Mondays are a little tough, but I could make it work. But other than that,
We don't want to strain your brain, buddy.
well, too late. Too late. So yeah, if we want to do something at the beginning of the week, just hit me up.
Yeah, like why don't we do Tuesday? Tuesday at like what time's your hair appointment? 2:15. Oh, yeah.
Does she have to? Do you have to take her to her hair appointment?
I do.
Oh my God!
I go everywhere with her.
I see. Well, I can understand that. She's so gorgeous, you probably have to. But she's got a gun. I don't see what the problem is.
I know. I'm bored without her.
I understand that. So, how long is the hair appointment going to take?
Oh, for her, it takes like 5 hours.
Oh,
So while you're thinking about that, we have a question from XTOR4711.
yeah.
He's recognizing that it's a Greyhawk map, CrimsonHawk. He wants to know if we're participating in the virtual Greyhawk Con this weekend.
Well, I am twice, and you guys are for Friday afternoon.
No, for
That's Autumn Revel
that's
next
all-
week.
Yeah, it's
Oh.
next week.
Greyhawk is this week.
Oh, I see. No, that's not me. I help those guys out a little bit, but I don't do a lot with them.
All right. Hopefully that answers your question, XTOR.
It's because not TSR, I'm sorry. It's because Hasbro owns Greyhawk, and I don't want to be associated with anything that can get me sued into the Stone Age, and they're very litigious. They do not like me at all. I get cease and desist letters all the time.
What do you guys think about 7 p.m. on Tuesday? 7 p.m. Eastern.
I can try and give you the keys to how to make this work, but that's a little late for me because I go to work at night.
Yeah,
That's late. So
3.
I have a hair appointment at 2. So
But that's
that would
2
be
p.m.
tough.
Pacific.
Right.
How about if Nicole changes her hair appointment?
That's how you get hurt, James.
Oh,
That's
okay.
how you get hurt. What's going on tomorrow?
Tomorrow is Saturday. I can't. I'm doing a Gamma World game.
And
You have
other
the
peop-
Metamorphosis Alpha game, and I'm doing a wedding.
He's
That's,
Oh, that's
doing a
right.
wedding.
Metamorphosis Alpha, yeah.
so, yeah, I'm all out.
hmm So I think we're looking at.
No, I think Tuesday at 3 is noon our time.
We could do Sunday. What
No,
about-
I can't do Sunday. I'm busy on Sunday.
You can't do Sunday.
How about Tuesday at noon California time? No, it has to be before noon, huh? Walt, right?
no, that's fine. California time?
What?
No, that's good.
What? So,
But that means you only get an hour and a half of game.
wait. No, for me, no. She'll be inside. I'm just trying to say, what time do you have to cease and desist, Walt? Go to work.
That would be
On
that would be-
Tuesday.
that would be 4 p.m. your time.
That'd be 4 p.m. my time. So how about like noon on Tuesday? Does that work for everybody?
Works for me.
So noon California time
Yes.
is
Yeah.
2 o'clock my time.
So
Yeah.
you're gonna be 3 on Tuesday.
2
That's the 6th.
in hell.
In hell.
Is it just going to be the 4 guys that are in there? There won't be any special guests or anything.
No.
Well, unless you want to add anybody.
Well, no, because it's really, you guys should just do that by yourselves. I mean, we could expose another person to the glowing white light in the paladin's chamber, but I'd rather not. I'd rather have just you four.
That makes it sound like an infection.
So you're saying what time? California?
Noon California, 3
So
Pacific, 3 Eastern. Yeah.
And
Does
it's
that
two.
Does that work for you?
Yeah, I mean, I can do it until I have to make dinner, so that's fine.
Ordering pizza is a good idea, buddy. Telling them they're on their own. What a great idea.
I do that.
Oh, you know what? Get a bucket of chicken the day before.
Yeah.
Oh, dear Lord.
And they can have cold chicken that day.
Cold chicken.
He wants to feed them, not punish them.
Right.
Yeah, really.
The bucket of chicken is not the gift that keeps on giving.
I see.
Let's
Okay, so I wrote down 2 o'clock in hell.
I'll send you guys the invite to that.
Okay, that's Zoom
So,
again?
everybody paying attention to the stream, you got a bonus session this week, CrimsonHawk Ops, on Tuesday at that time.
So Extort4711 is saying to James, you wrote my favorite D&D book. You have to be more specific on that one. Got to let us know what that book was.
Well, they mean the novel, or was it Pool of Radiance, or was it Deities and Demigods, or was it Greyhawk Adventures? I mean, I wrote hundreds of products.
Deities and Demigods. There we go.
And Demigods, yeah, there we go. I'm very proud of that work, because that was no internet anything on that one. That was just hard slogging through the libraries.
Yeah.
Good old card catalog.
It was really a sweet royalty check, though, I'll tell you. Oh, my goodness. 60,000 sales on the first print run. That was nice money, and I foolishly had never gotten a check like that before. So we spent it all, and I didn't save any money for taxes.
Ooh.
Ooh, it was bad. It was really bad.
Uncle Sugar
Yeah.
always gets theirs.
Yeah, it hurt for a long while.
You make that mistake once.
Yeah, exactly.
That's crazy. Started my interest in reading and looking into myths, he said.
Myths?
Myths.
Myths.
Myths. He's,
Mythology.
there we go.
he's a professional myth maker.
Yeah, I get that a lot from people. I really like it a lot. I love when kids say they used my book for their term paper. I just love that.
Oh, God.
It pleases me immensely.
Their parents probably not so much.
Yeah, really.
So what would you say to a fledgling D&D group, say of 4th to 6th level characters who are re-experiencing Dungeons and Dragons, a hybrid of 1st and 2nd edition for the first time? What would you say to them as a piece of advice?
Oh boy, look up and down and all around. that piece of advice has saved me 1,000 times. I was kind of sad that you guys didn't do that in the Green Slime Hall today.
We tried
we
looking up,
couldn't
but you said
see.
it was too high.
Too dark. So, it's too dark. Well, we better get some lights up there somehow. But no, not you guys. Let's just walk down there burning our way.
Well, I kind of figured when we lit the slimes on fire that it would have been enough to light the cavern up in
Okay, but
light.
you didn't know how long the slime was. It was over 100 yards long in slime, and the slime up in the ceiling would see the bare spot down on the floor and plop down some more slime.
Yeah.
That's
So slime is sentient.
Well, it isn't sentient, but it has instincts.
I bet
So,
there's some really good treasure on the other side of that slime, right?
Oh man, there's an amazing treasure over there.
I'm trying to remember the 1950s movie The Blob, and how did they end up killing it, or did they?
They used a truck of liquid oxygen.
Yep.
Ah,
They
all right.
froze it to death.
Yeah, and they froze it
Okay.
to death, except for the chunk that the priest walked away with.
Maybe it's the dummy.
So Xtor wants to know if this is your regular Twitch channel or if you have other places on the web where you're hanging out there, James.
Oh, I don't hang out anywhere.
Well, you hang out with us.
I hang out with you guys. I hang out in Facebook. I go there every day, but that's it. I don't go any other places. I'm a computer idiot.
So hopefully that answers your question, Xtor. He said he wants to watch you play on a regular basis because he's enjoying.
Oh, there we go. Well, then Friday is what he wants. I do a lot of podcasts these days. People call me up and I don't mind that. I like doing those. I like talking up you guys and Galaxy Edge. I talk you guys up every time I have a podcast.
Oh, thank you, brother.
That's all right, my friend. Because you guys.
Did you like my half ogre today?
You need to get into him just a little bit more than you do.
Oh, okay.
But I thought you were okay, but not anywhere near as good as Prometheus.
Prometheus is great. Well, the half ogre is understated.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I can't play him like Prometheus.
Okay, but you need to have him do dumb things. You need to have him do strength things. You need to have him do some more stuff.
Oh, okay.
So well, what about the barbarian? Because that was my first go at a barbarian.
Barbarians are tough. You didn't really find any magic items that you could destroy. I'm really waiting for that. Oh, a magic bow! I have to destroy that, and you break it over your knee.
I thought you could resist that urge at 4th level.
You can have a magic weapon, but lots of magic you have to destroy because it drives you crazy.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's the nature of the class.
And then you'll attack too. You'll attack people that are using magic. Only them. So that kind of gets you distracted.
You don't like magic users. You don't like clerics. Anyone who uses spells.
Yeah.
Didn't barbarians have shamans as well, though? That are basically magic users?
Of course they did, but the barbarian doesn't see that the shaman is doing magic. The barbarian sees that the shaman is getting his gods to help him out.
Okay.
Yeah, he says that's a different thing than magic.
I'm picking up what you're laying down. I'm tracking.
There we go. Barbarians are hard to do. They're really nice and strong. They do a ton of damage. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, they seemed a little OP when I'm reading all the stats.
Yeah, they're hard to roleplay though. And I actually had to read Bard today to make sure that I understood all the stuff because I'd never roleplayed, never DM'd a Bard before. So I had to look that up.
I got to say, I redid some of the alerts on this today because some of the ones we were doing just weren't working, and Extort 4711 just scared the living crap out of me.
Why is that, Walt?
So when somebody subscribes, which Extort 4711 just subscribed, we really appreciate it.
Oh, hey, huzzah!
Really appreciate that. So when he subscribed, there was a real big picture of a werewolf roaring, and then
was it Woola?
I put in the sound of a tiger to go with it.
Oh, nice.
So I'm sitting there and I'm like, he was asking, where are some places to check you out, James? And I said, you could check out some of the past streams here. Let me go to YouTube real quick and get that link. And all of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, what the hell was that?
That's funny.
It was the Tiger of Ill Omen.
Oh, my goodness.
All you subscribers, if you aren't friends with me on Facebook, come on over and friend me, and we'll get you on my page.
All right.
So, James, my ogre today got a bunch of money.
Yes,
and
he did.
when the Cavalier gets a bunch of money, he goes and tithes it at his church and gets experience, right?
Yes.
So if the ogre goes into the worst tavern in town and drinks away all his money and eats it, is that the equivalent?
Okay, so first of all, your boss will be very mad that you didn't give him 10% of everything.
Right. But ogre don't know.
He expects that, and he'll be yelling at you anyway for giving up the gem. 20,000 gold piece gem. That's going to be talked about for the next year and a half.
Oh my gosh! But back to my point.
Yeah.
Is the tavern the ogre's version of tithing?
No, not at all. The ogre tithes to his boss, and if he's a strict follower of and I get with you can't have followers of gods. Well, I'll take that back. The ogre can follow a shaman ogre.
I think the ogre is just a hired man at arms.
For
Prometheus.
So that's
but
fine.
What I'm trying to say is, like, for purposes of role playing, Why
Mhm.
couldn't the ogre go in and blow all his money in a bar?
Okay,
that
and
would be the
he
same
could.
as
Okay, and
the
guess what would
Cavalier.
happen? Guess what would happen to him?
Would he get experience?
No, he wouldn't get experience, but he'd get mugged the second he got out of the tavern.
Well, he blew all his money in there.
Yeah, that they don't know that.
And who mugs a 7-foot-tall ogre?
10 really clever thieves that backstab you for 110 points of damage.
So Xtor is telling you that Luke Gygax plays on Jim's show tomorrow night, and Eric Muna, and he thinks he sent that to you on Facebook earlier, so I'm passing that on. I don't know who
he's not.
Jay is.
He's not playing on Jim's show. He's playing on Jay's show.
Yeah.
Tomorrow night, and that's I think he's talking about Lord Gusumba's show.
Yes.
Okay.
So it isn't me. I'm running a game on Sunday. No, that's next week.
Yeah, no, you have a game tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm not doing Gary Con. I'm doing Metamorphosis Alpha.
Yeah.
So as we wrap this up, you're actually going to run another CrimsonHawk game at the convention next week.
Well, what I'm
He's
using
cheating
it
on
as
us.
No.
Yeah, you are.
I'm using it as a ploy to talk up CrimsonHawk and our Friday games.
So now people are going to be able to buy into this game?
When you say buy in, you mean they
Like-
paid $10 and they can hook up.
Right. So
And,
these are people who have purchased badges for
Yeah.
Autumn Revel. And
Yeah.
so your events, the things you're doing on Autumn Revel will show up in the list.
Right.
Yes.
So now how will you play them? Like, I mean, will they
I've
be
I've got a description that tells them that to bring a 4th level characters with maximum hit points to the
Right.
game, and then they're just going to go down in the dungeons and have fun.
is that event already booked, filled? Can people still get in, or?
I don't know, buddy. Usually my events fill up pretty quick.
Hang
Yeah,
on.
I would imagine.
I'm looking that up right now. I'll tell you.
And so will these people actually be in Greyhawk or CrimsonHawk with us at the same time? Could we knife them and take their stuff?
It's very interesting that you bring that up. They will be roaming around, and I will be writing down their stats and their abilities. There are 2 other groups that are in the main Greyhawk Ruined Castle that you guys can run into. I'm really looking forward to seeing how you treat another party group.
Well, they're evil, so they should be destroyed, and
They
we should
aren't
take their stuff.
necessarily evil. No, that's not.
Do they? Let me ask you this: do they have stuff?
They don't have magic items.
Oh, well, then they're not evil.
Yeah, there we go.
If they
have
had
gems.
magic items,
They
if
might
they-
have gems.
oh, then they're evil.
That poor sword. You're really working them kind of hard, actually.
Me? The
And I
sword
don't know
you
how
need,
you
buddy.
ever. I don't know how you're ever going to sell that sword. You got over $100,000 in it right now.
Why would I want to sell it? Only
Yeah.
that would be who would sell that sword? It's great
Okay, well you haven't seen him sulky yet.
because I keep him happy.
You keep him happy. You really do.
Hey, Jim, what is the game called?
Oh, just CrimsonHawk, I thought.
No, it's not on here.
Okay. Can you look up Sunday at 3:00?
Yep.
Can you look up Jim Ward?
Can you look up Jim
This is
Ward?
the first time that you actually can't break it down by person, which is
Yeah,
very
usually they can.
Yeah.
But I got the dungeon all done, so they can definitely play around all they like, and they will. Tournament guys are never cautious at all. That's why I
Yeah.
get this reputation for total party kill, because they don't care about their characters. So I usually wind up they're all dead in an hour and a half. My record is 15 minutes.
What happened?
They came down into the dungeon and met an Umber Hulk. And
Ooh.
Umber Hulks have paralytic eyes. You look at it, you have to make your saving throw. And all 8 of them failed their saving throw, so they were all dead by Umber Hulk.
So do you prefer the one-shots like a convention, or do you like doing campaigns better as a
I
dungeon
like
master?
campaigns better because it stretches my mind. I have to do stuff that on the fly that I don't have to do in a tournament module.
And you're sure it's Sunday at 3?
I'm pretty positive it's Sunday at 3. I don't want to play with this screen and look it up.
Huh, interesting.
Yeah.
So when I go in, just for fun, here's what it looks like.
Whoa.
Autumn Revel. Look at that. How nice.
This is Sunday, 3 o'clock start. I checked virtual tabletop RPG. I also checked very important guest, RPG.
I don't know what to tell you, buddy. Maybe they don't even have me in there yet.
No, I don't think you're logged.
I gave him the assignment 2 days ago.
It's very possible that Luke is cherry picking the guests.
Yeah, I think he said something about doing that.
Yeah, so that makes sense. So here's
I'll get some stupid actors and actresses. Oh my God, those people make me so mad.
Why is that?
It's because they're getting stuff. I've worked for 40 years for my fame and glory. All right. They're on a stupid sitcom and they get fame and glory. Oh my God. That one guy, what is his name? He married the most beautiful woman in the world.
Nick Cole.
Okay, you're right. He married the second most beautiful woman in the world.
Are you thinking of Joe Montagna?
Yeah, Joe Montagna.
Yep.
I'm so jealous of him. You know, he's one of Wizards of the Coast's primary DMs, and he does this podcast game all the time with actors and actresses, and it's a big deal, and people are really interested, and the fairness of it irritates me. I realize I'm being petty. I realize I'm being immature. It doesn't matter. I don't think it's fair. So
he's a cool guy, though. He really.
What
is.
you're saying is you don't want me to invite him on as a guest.
You get anybody you can get, buddy. But more women would be really good. I was really glad to see you got a woman for next session.
He's really good for the game, though. He really gets the word out.
Yeah, great. I understand.
So Veronica's coming, not this coming Friday, but the Friday after. This coming Friday, we have Mikey Mason, who's does the filking at the cons and sings the songs. Too Fat to Troop, and he did the Ballad of the Murder Hobo.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, cool. No, I like these guests. They're really, so far, none of them have been clinkers. One was kind of a coward, which is a little irritating. But he did get smashed down to 3 hit points, which kind of scared the poop out of him, I think.
I liked the guy today. I thought his choices were a little odd.
Patty's fun people, and like I said, like he was talking about today, he's got that project he's doing. He's going to be releasing, which is the kind of like the vault of like cursed and strange items.
Magic items, yeah. I've got a product like that coming out for Troll Lords in a couple months.
Is that for Castles and Crusades there, Jim?
Yeah, that's for CNC. I've written a lot of stuff for CNC. I like the system a lot. It's just like first edition AD&D.
Yeah, they're cool guys. Gaxmore was written in that. So.
Yeah, Luke and Ernie wrote that one, and that's kind of cool. I think they sold 50,000 units just on those guys' names.
Yeah. Well, right on the newest version, that has actually been converted to D&D, so that's 5e.
Oh, 5e. I will not be helping with any conversions to 5e. I don't like 5e at all.
What is it about 5e that you don't like?
I don't like the cookie cutter nature. Those characters are not. Every paladin is the same in my book. They're not individualistic. They don't have cool different things that make them unique. They're just cookie cutter out. And it's become an accounting game, and I don't like it at all. I don't mind a min-max game. You guys are kind of min-maxing things, which I can appreciate. But, it's become an accounting game. And, of course, there is the orc draw situation.
Yeah. So you're not going to come to my Orc Life Matters protest?
Yeah, exactly. Orc Lives Matter. That's very funny.
We should have, I was thinking about this, like one day we should just play a game where you give us like some really awesome magical items. The wizards get a bunch of fireball scrolls, and all we do for 2.5 hours straight is just kill orcs. And we can toggle the dice so that we always roll 20s and max damage.
Okay, that isn't going to be fun for me, of course.
No. But it would be a good lesson for the kids.
We have a whole orc level that you can do that on right now, and you guys even know how to get to it.
Yeah, but there's a beholder nearby.
Yeah, but you can get by the beholder and get to the level. The stairs to the orc level aren't with the beholder.
Right, different location.
Yeah.
I thought it was right around the corner, though.
It was right around the corner, but the beholder doesn't leave his room.
Why are the beholder and the orcs not interacting?
Well,
'Cause they're
orcs
not
don't
dead.
want to interact with a beholder. They're afraid of a beholder.
Or maybe they work for the beholder.
No, they don't. They're just terrified of the beholder. They have their own chieftains and bosses down there.
Yeah.
You
And
know,
that's a fun level. I really liked making that one. Made it
Is
with you guys in mind.
Is JR's stone gem still there?
Of course
Yes,
it is. I'm coming back for it.
Yeah, you can come back for it, but it's been moved to the temple area, so that'll be fun. for
Anubis will provide. I have faith.
you. Yeah, if you can ever get out of hell. No, that's right. You're a
My
werewolf.
dwarf is in hell. Denovian Gargus
Yeah.
is in hell.
So here's the beholder. Works your way over here.
Where's the? I see the beholder.
Beholder's down here.
I
You
don't
gotta
see where your pointer is. Where's your pointer?
Right there. That's the orcs. That's the statue of Anubis.
Oh yeah, the statue of Anubis and the stairs down. Yep.
Here's the well. We came in that way. We moved that way. We went down the stairs. You reconned over here. Here's the beholder.
Yeah.
And then we go.
Yeah, let's go take on the beholder. Yeah, that'll be fun.
We did make a plan for it.
Yeah, you can make a plan, all right. I got a plan too.
Plans don't survive contact with the dice, especially
right.
if you got hot dice.
Monster summon 3, monster summon 3, monster summon 3. You look forward to Tyrannosaurus Rex and
Yeah.
great big demons and other horrible creatures.
All right.
Pyrohydras. You haven't lived until you've been breathed on by a pyrohydra.
Yeah,
But what about our new wondrous figurines we just acquired?
Oh, those will be very nice. Yeah, you're gonna use them up really quick. I can tell.
Yikes.
So is the one of a dragon? Is it a dragon?
Yes, of course it's a dragon. What's the sense of having a dragon wondrous figurine if it isn't a dragon?
What kind of dragon is it?
You'll have to unleash it to find out.
Yep, that's what identify is for.
Yeah,
And,
exactly.
and it'll fight for us and do whatever we want.
That's what
Figurine of wondrous
figurines of wondrous power do. They aren't very intelligent, so it isn't the wisest fighter. But for a while, it's a really tough big fighter.
Well, and
So
it's
what
not-
what would happen if you used it on the beholder?
Yeah,
Well,
we're
the,
not.
the beholder would kill it in like the first eye blast.
Yeah,
That's
no,
how you D&D, Nick.
no.
Well said, JR. Well said, my friend.
it all
I've been
comes
waiting
back
to use
around.
that one.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
If we ever get merch, that needs to go on there because that's how you D&D, Josh.
that's how you did. That was very funny when you started doing that to Josh. It was quite good. You come up with some really good lines. I just absolutely loved when you started doing the honor thing with the Cavalier. Oh my god,
That was hysterical.
it was hysterical.
I did that last time. Try to turn it around on him. The one right before. I'm like, well, if
Yeah,
it's so safe, you go first.
Yeah, exactly.
And he outfoxed me. I gotta give him that one.
Yeah, he just took it on the chin. He said, "Okay, fine, I'm taking the damage. You aren't very honorable." It was good. Well done, Nick. You got a good mentality when you role play.
Prometheus is a weasel like you've never met.
Well, that's nice, Nick. Good job.
But if you've
I
read
don't
Gods
know.
and
I've-
Legionnaires, you know.
With a
Nick,
heart of gold.
I've dated outside of Fayetteville, so I think I know about weasels.
I've dated outside of
Ooh,
it.
that's
we go.
harsh.
There we go.
That's a t-shirt right there.
Yes, exactly.
So, you guys want to shut the shades? Bring up the gantry. Close up the castle?
We gotta give Twitch one more time. Anything from Twitch?
So Lord Dallas is taking off because he's East Coast like JR, myself, and Andrew. So he's saying that they roll up the streetlights at night. So he's going to hit it.
Okay, that's
He's
good.
going to take an extra nap next Friday and hang out with us a little more. Felix the Swift is saying, you guys need to hire like 1,000 minions to go kill the Beholder. I'm thinking we just buy it a kitten. I'm thinking we just buy a kitten and let it loose, and when he squeeze all over because now he loves his pet, he's just going to ignore us.
Yeah, that's probably going to happen.
Felix is apparently taking bets that I'll be the first character to die. Again.
That's no bet.
He said, I'm not maxing anything because I won't be around.
I know. I wouldn't even give odds on that.
Yeah, Extort was talking a little bit a while ago when you guys were talking, like why you don't like 5e and stuff like that. He says, it's no problem because 6e is going to come out soon enough.
That's very true. It should be interesting to see what they do to it again.
And
They'll probably. I'm betting that they're going to make the Tyrannosaurus Rex not eat meat.
And Felix is suggesting we just hire 1,000 minions to take on the Beholder.
Yeah, that won't cost any money.
But yeah, we really appreciate everybody coming out. Sorry about the lag. I don't know what that's about. I'm going to check my system and hopefully troubleshoot that for next time. Thanks to the panel, everybody hanging out while I draw a two-headed monstrosity. And we got...
yeah, that's a wonderful picture. Well,
and if you want to see it, he shares it to the Facebook group, which he shared the link to, which is Old School Writers playing...
now I'm blanking.
Yeah, blah blah blah. Let me pull it up so I don't forget. Sci-Fi Writers playing old school D&D at the Facebooks, and you can throw the link up because I can't. So
that'll be good.
Gotcha. And to everybody, just remember, it's not a gray sky; it's a crimson hawk.